What's up, guys, and welcome to another episode of Coach Sean's Kitchen. Today, I'm celebrating two amazing things. One, it's my 100th subscriber episode, but more importantly, this is going to be a special Father's Day episode featuring my dad. And I can't think of a better way to celebrate than with a delicious prime rib roast. You're not going to want to miss this. This is Coach Sean's Kitchen. So if you like watching Coach Sean's Kitchen, please consider sharing this video or subscribing. This is the best thing you can do to help me create videos like how to cook a prime rib roast. Now, this is a little bit of a different episode of Coach Sean's Kitchen. My culinary expertise, I don't have any. I didn't take any classes, I never had any formal training, but the best thing that ever happened to me is I grew up in a house where we cooked. Food was a priority, and spending time in the kitchen was a necessity. Every Sunday, we had a family dinner, and everybody sat down, and it's become one of my favorite memories of my childhood. As far as this video, yeah, it's a little bit goofy. It's not as much me nerding out about which sugar substitute's gonna have the best effect on your blood sugar. But this video became something more for me. It became a Father's Day gift for my dad. Something that we could do that would create a wonderful memory for him and one day for me. So to you, Dad, and all the fathers out there, I want to wish you a happy Father's Day, and I hope you guys can do something that helps create a memory for you. So to kick off our Father's Day prime rib roast, we're going to begin by making an herb butter. And we're going to use this to slather around the outside of our prime rib roast to baste it while it cooks. So into a measuring cup, we're going to put a stick of butter. This is going to be a lot harder than I thought. And we'll begin prepping our herbs. Now, when I think prime rib, I think big, bold flavors like thyme, rosemary, and garlic. So we'll begin by picking the leaves off of the stems of our thyme and our rosemary. We'll put a nice little chop on them, and then we'll begin dicing up about 6 cloves of garlic. We'll put it all into our measuring cup along with some salt, pepper, a hit of lemon juice, and then we'll mix it up, and our herb butter is good to go. We'll go ahead and set that aside, and now let's turn our attention to the meat. Here, I've got a 5-pound USDA prime rib roast. It's Father's Day, we have to go all out. I was able to talk to the butchers at Costco, and they were able to cut up this prime rib roast for me, and you can see they picked out a great one. This has great color, wonderful marbling. It's gonna make a great meal. Once done, we'll take our herb butter and we'll... Oh boy, I'm never hearing the end of that one. So we'll smother our prime rib roast in our herb butter and... Oh whoa, yep, I am his son. So once our prime rib roast is good and covered, we're gonna put it on a bed of onions and carrots. As this prime rib roast begins to cook, all of that delicious butter and that juice from that prime rib is gonna render down, and I don't wanna waste any of it. So we're gonna take our prime rib roast outside, and our method of cooking today is going to be a reverse sear, except we're gonna use our Traeger smoker. So I have my Traeger rolling at about 250 degrees, and it's loaded with hickory wood. And I'm gonna smoke it at this low temperature until it hits 125 degrees, and then we're gonna sear it in the oven. So while our prime rib roast is cooking, we're gonna turn our attention to our horseradish sauce. Because if you're having prime rib, you have to have horseradish sauce. So into a bowl, we'll add some homemade mayonnaise, some sour cream, and then some prepared horseradish that I made this morning. You can buy horseradish root at the store, and if you just dice it up, throw it in your blender along with some vinegar and some water, you can have a delicious and fresh prepared horseradish always standing by. So we'll season it, mix it up, and then marvel at the best horseradish sauce I've ever had. So the last thing we're gonna do is we're gonna prepare some low-carb twice-baked potatoes. I got the inspiration for this after I made mashed cauliflower, and I knew if I mixed in some bacon and cheese, I could create something really special. But it was still missing that skin. And that's when I realized that if I seared a portobello mushroom, I could use that as my stand-in. And this turned out amazing, like better than the prime rib, amazing. So I've made mashed cauliflower before. I'll throw a link to the video in the description. But once that's done, we'll mix in our cheese, our homemade bacon, Then I'm gonna use an ice cream scoop to put a big mound of that mashed cauliflower right in the middle of our portobello mushroom. Then I'm gonna stick them in the oven at 400 degrees for about 10 minutes, just long enough for that cheese to melt and all of those flavors to mingle together. So our prime rib just hit 125 degrees, so I went ahead and pulled it off of the smoker. And you can see it's looking great. Wonderful color, and the smells are just warming my soul. I'm gonna let my oven get as hot as it can, and then I'm gonna stick it in there for about 5 to 10 minutes until it hits that 135 final temperature that I want my prime rib roast at. So I've just pulled my prime rib out of the oven, and you can see that it looks phenomenal. So it is Father's Day. It's only right to give Dad the first slice. And as you can see, this prime rib came out perfect. We have an edge to edge, medium rare, beautiful red color. The outside is crispy and charred, and that herb butter just added a tremendous amount of flavor. Oh, and you can look at the thickness of those slices. We are eating good tonight. Normally, I try to plate up a little nicer than what I'm doing right now, but hey, we're celebrating Father's Day, and I don't know how many whiskeys we've had already. So I hope you enjoyed this special Father's Day episode of Coach Sean's Kitchen. And just remember, even something as special as a Father's Day prime rib roast can be made homemade and healthy.